Every early morning, just as the sky begins to lighten, I ride my old bicycle down to the little fishing port near my home. I'm in my 80s now. My legs are not what they used to be, but they've carried me far and wide through this life. I don't ride fast. I don't need to. I ride to buy seafood fresh from the sea, still smelling of salt and waves. For us Japanese elders, this is not a luxury. It's a habit, a way of living, and perhaps the reason why so many of us stay strong even in old age. You see, while the world talks about salmon as the king of healthy fish here in Japan, we quietly eat other kinds of seafood less famous but incredibly rich in protein. These are the kinds of fish that have kept my muscles from wasting away, while others my age fall victim to something called sarcopenia, muscle loss with age. Today, I want to share with you 3 of these powerful seafoods. They're not expensive. They're not complicated. But they might just help you rebuild strength, regain balance, and feel more like yourself again. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching this from, and what time is it for you right now? Please let me know in the comments below. I truly look forward to reading them. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Sarcopenia, the silent muscle loss. You didn't see. Coming sarcopenia is the slow, quiet loss of muscle that happens as we age. Most people don't even notice it until they suddenly feel weaker, have trouble standing, or fall for the first time. It usually starts after age 60. You could be eating enough. You might even feel healthy, but inside your muscles are shrinking 3 to 8% every 10 years. Left unchecked, this leads to poor balance, constant fatigue, and in some cases the loss of independence. This condition isn't rare. It affects millions of older adults in America, but it's often mistaken for just getting old. I've seen it with my own eyes. Friends who used to walk every morning now struggle to lift a shopping bag, not because they're sick, but because their muscles simply faded away. The good news: you can slow it down or even reverse it if you feed your muscles the right kind of protein, not just more protein, but smarter protein. Ones your aging body can absorb without causing stress or inflammation. That's what we've done here in Japan. And today, I'll show you 3 seafoods that do exactly that. Why do Japanese elders keep their muscle longer? In the small town of Okinawa, I once watched an 87-year-old woman carry 2 bags of vegetables up a hill without stopping to rest. Her back was straight, her step steady, and her breath calm. She smiled at me and said, "We move every day, and we eat what our bodies understand." In Japan, muscle strength in old age is not seen as luck. It's seen as a result of daily habits. One of the most important, eating the right kind of protein every single day. Unlike heavy meats, Japanese elders eat protein that's gentle on the digestive system and rich in essential amino acids. Seafood, especially small fish and shellfish, is the foundation. These are proteins the body absorbs more easily without causing inflammation or stress on the gut. Research backs this up. Studies in Japan show that older adults who consume seafood at least 4 times a week maintain 20 to 30% more muscle mass than those who eat less. It's not just about protein, though. It's about balance. We combine seafood with seaweed, fermented foods, and warm broths that help the body absorb nutrients better. There's even a word for this in Japan: shokuiku, the lifelong education of how food shapes the body and the mind. We don't just eat to be full. We eat to stay strong, calm, and connected. And our elders. Many of them live alone but not helpless. They walk to the market, cook their meals, clean their homes because their muscles still serve them. Let me show you 3 of the seafoods that make this possible. They may be small, but they carry the strength of the sea inside them. The first seafood, shirasu. In Japan, we often sprinkle tiny white fish over a warm bowl of rice. They're called shirasu baby anchovies, or sardines so small you eat them whole. At first glance, they may look like a garnish, but don't be fooled. These little fish are a quiet powerhouse for rebuilding aging muscles. Shirasu are packed with high-quality complete protein. Just 100 grams contain about 20 grams of protein, along with calcium, iron, and omega-3 fats, all of which support muscle repair, bone health, and inflammation control. And because you eat the whole fish bones and all, you get nutrients that are often missing in processed foods or fillets. It's gentle on the stomach and easy to digest, especially important for older adults whose bodies process food more slowly. When I was a child, my grandmother would mix shirasu into steamed rice with a little soy sauce and grated ginger. She never talked about protein or nutrition. She just said, "This keeps your legs strong." She was right. Today, studies show that older adults who eat small whole fish like shirasu experience better muscle retention and fewer bone issues than those who rely on red meat or dairy alone. Shirasu are also versatile. You can mix them into eggs, sprinkle over tofu, or add to a warm bowl of miso soup. They don't require chewing tough meat or fancy preparation, just a gentle heat and a little seasoning. If you live outside Japan, you can find dried shirasu in Asian markets or order them online. Look for ones with low sodium and no added preservatives. A tablespoon a day can make a quiet, lasting difference. Small fish, strong legs, that's how we do it. The second seafood, hotate. When people think of high-protein foods, they rarely think of scallops. But in Japan, hotate, our word for scallops, is considered a gentle treasure from the sea. It's soft, sweet, and surprisingly powerful for aging muscles. A single serving of hotate offers over 20 grams of lean protein, but what makes it special is what comes with it: vitamin B12, zinc, selenium, and a unique amino acid called taurine. Taurine supports muscle function, heart health, and reduces oxidative stress, something that increases as we age. Unlike red meat, hotate is light and easy to digest. It doesn't cause bloating or heaviness. That's why many Japanese elders eat it boiled in soups, gently grilled, or served raw as sashimi. It nourishes without burdening the body. I still remember the summer festivals in Hokkaido. Vendors would grill hotate over charcoal with just a touch of soy sauce and butter. The smell filled the air. We didn't think about muscle health, we just enjoyed the moment. But over time, meals like these quietly protected our strength. Research in Japan has shown that seniors who regularly consume shellfish like hotate have better grip strength, walking speed, and muscle preservation. These benefits aren't just from protein, but from the anti-inflammatory nutrients that come with it. If you want to try hotate, look for frozen or fresh scallops at your local market. Choose wild-caught if possible, and avoid heavily breaded or fried versions. Even a few pieces once or twice a week can make a meaningful difference. Hotate is proof that strength doesn't have to come from heavy, greasy foods. Sometimes it comes from something soft, simple, and quietly nourishing. The third seafood, Sakura ebi. They're pink, tiny, and light as air, but don't underestimate them. Sakura ebi, or cherry blossom shrimp, may be small, but they carry some of the most powerful nutrients for aging muscles. These shrimp are eaten whole shell head and all, which means you get not only protein, but also a rich dose of calcium, magnesium, and a rare antioxidant called astaxanthin. This antioxidant gives Sakura ebi their rosy color and gives your cells protection from age-related damage. Just a handful of dried Sakura ebi offers around 15–18 grams of protein with very little fat. Because they're eaten whole, they also provide collagen and chitin, both of which support joint health and connective tissue. In my home, Sakura ebi was something we saved for special meals. My wife used to make crispy fritters with them, lightly fried with a bit of flour and spring onions. It was a favorite of my grandchildren. Simple, delicious, and full of quiet strength. Modern research from Japanese health journals shows that older adults who consume small shrimp like Sakura ebi regularly have lower rates of frailty, better bone density, and improved muscle recovery after physical activity. You don't need a deep fryer or a complicated recipe. Just toast them lightly in a pan and sprinkle over rice salad or soup. Their umami flavor adds richness to any dish without extra sodium or oil. Sakura ebi are a reminder that nature often hides strength in delicate forms. You don't need a giant fish or a thick steak to nourish your body. Sometimes all it takes is a spoonful of tiny shrimp and a bit of care. How to eat Japanese seafood in the U.S. If you're watching from the U.S. and thinking, "This sounds wonderful, but where do I even find these Japanese seafoods?" You're not alone. I often hear that from friends here. The good news is, you can eat like the Japanese even if you're far from Japan. First, let's talk about where to look. Many Asian supermarkets in the U.S., especially those that carry Japanese goods, already stock what you need. For example, places like H-Mart, Mitsuwa, Tokyo Central, or other Japanese grocery stores are great first stops. On forums, people mention Japanese supermarkets. We buy the fish specifically indicated for sushi. In other words, the kind of stores where we buy sushi ingredients often carry dried or frozen small fish, shellfish, and things like that. If you're unsure, ask the fish counter. Do you have shirasu labeled small white fish or Japanese scallops? The staff will often help. Second, you can shop online. There are U.S. based importers of high-quality Japanese seafood, and you can order frozen or shelf-stable items that ship to your door. So distance is no longer a barrier. Now, how to integrate them into your life without feeling like you've moved to another country? The key is keep it simple, keep it small, and keep it regular. Here's how I do it in my home, and how you might try it too. For breakfast. When I was younger, my wife would sprinkle shirasu over a bowl of warm rice, then a splash of soy sauce and a little sesame oil. Simple, quiet, nourishing. Here in the U.S., you could take 1/4 cup of dried shirasu or equivalent mix into scrambled eggs or warm oatmeal. Because for older bodies, digestion is slower, so gentle protein works. For lunch, try Sakura ebi tiny pink shrimp tossed into a salad soup or even a soft scramble. They add crunch flavor and high-quality protein without you having to chew through heavy meat. It's a little ritual. You open the bag, sprinkle, enjoy the taste, and your body says, "Thank you." For dinner, shellfish like hotate Japanese scallops are ideal. Here's a simple method. Thaw frozen scallops, pat dry, lightly sear in a non-stick pan with a small amount of olive oil and garlic. Finish with a splash of lemon. Serve alongside steamed greens or miso soup. It takes maybe 10-15 minutes. No heavy sauce, no thick steak. Just clean protein, gentle for your digestive system, kind to your muscles. One of my American friends, age 72, living alone, said he tried this routine 2 of those seafood meals a week. After 2 weeks, he told me I have fewer leg cramps, and getting up from the sofa feels easier. It wasn't magic, it was consistency. A few practical tips. Choose products labeled as frozen at peak freshness or wild caught if possible. Avoid heavy breading or deep-fried versions. That adds fat, salt, and extra calories you don't need. Store frozen items at 18°C, 0°F or colder until use. Thaw in the refrigerator overnight. Use gentle cooking methods, steaming, searing soups. Respect the protein. Don't overcook until it's rubbery. Combine with familiar foods, warm rice, soft vegetables, miso ginger components of the Japanese diet that enhance absorption and add comfort. And finally, remember, you don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. The concept in Japan is small, sustainable changes. A few bites of the right seafood once or twice a week, and slowly you build momentum. After a few months, you may notice your balance is steadier, your legs feel stronger, those nightly leg cramps happen less often. In short, you can eat like the Japanese right from your home in the US. It's not about expensive ingredients or fancy techniques. It's about consistency, respect for the body, and choosing foods your aging muscles can actually use. Let's move together towards strength with kindness for our bodies. How to absorb seafood protein more effectively. Eating the right seafood is only half the journey. The other half, helping your body absorb what it needs, especially after age 60 when digestion and nutrient uptake naturally slow down. In Japan, we don't just focus on what we eat. We pay close attention to how we eat. It's part of a deeper philosophy that says food should not only nourish the body, but also bring calm rhythm and balance to daily life. Let's start with the first principle: chew slowly and fully. In Japanese culture, there's a saying, "Kuchi wa wazawai no moto." The mouth is the source of both trouble and healing. When we chew thoroughly, we activate enzymes in the mouth that begin breaking down protein. For older adults who often have lower stomach acid and slower digestion, this one habit alone can make protein far easier to absorb. Next is timing. The body is most ready to digest and utilize protein earlier in the day. That's why in Japan, even breakfast includes protein like miso soup with tofu or rice with fish. If you eat seafood only at night, your body may not use it efficiently. Try shifting just one protein-rich meal to morning or lunch. You may find yourself feeling more energized and steady during the day. Then there's what you eat with the protein. In Japanese meals, seafood is rarely eaten alone. It's paired with things that enhance absorption and reduce inflammation. Miso and fermented foods support gut bacteria and help your body extract nutrients. Ginger and daikon root improve circulation and digestion. Seaweed offers trace minerals like iodine and magnesium that assist muscle repair. This balance is intentional. A bowl of hot-tate soup with wakame seaweed and a few slices of pickled ginger isn't just tasty, it's optimized for an older body's needs. Another concept we live by is hara hachibu, a tradition from Okinawa that means eat until you're 80% full. It teaches restraint, but also ensures digestion doesn't get overwhelmed. Overeating slows down the digestive system and makes it harder to absorb even the best nutrients. Finally, movement matters. Gentle walking after meals, deep breathing exercises, or light stretching can stimulate digestion and muscle activity. In many Japanese communities, elders take a walk right after breakfast or lunch not to burn calories, but to help the body process what it's just received. So if you want to get the most from your seafood, eat it earlier in the day. Pair it with fermented and plant-based sides. Chew slowly, breathe deeply, and treat each meal as a chance to renew, not just refuel. You don't need supplements or complicated diets. Just thoughtful, consistent meals that respect your body and honor what it needs most: gentle strength. What to watch out for when eating more seafood. Seafood is one of nature's most healing gifts, but like anything powerful, it must be handled with care. As you begin adding more fish and shellfish to your meals, especially as an older adult, there are a few things to be mindful of. First, watch out for heavy metals, especially mercury. While small fish like shirasu and sakura ebi are generally safe, larger fish like tuna swordfish or king mackerel can contain high levels of mercury, which can be harmful to the brain, kidneys, and nervous system over time. The good news is the Japanese seafoods we've discussed, shirasu, hotate, sakura ebi, are naturally low in mercury. They are small, short-lived, and often wild-caught from clean waters. Still, it's always a good idea to vary the types of seafood you eat and avoid eating the same item every single day. Second, check for sodium levels, especially in dried or packaged seafood. Some dried shirasu or sakura ebi products are preserved with salt. If you have high blood pressure or kidney concerns, choose low-sodium versions and soak them briefly in warm water before cooking to reduce salt content. Third, know your allergies. Shellfish like scallops or shrimp may trigger allergic reactions in some people, even if you've eaten them before without problems. Aging can change the immune system, so it's wise to try small portions at first and see how your body responds. If you're unsure whether a food is safe for you, speak to your doctor or dietitian before introducing something new. This is especially important if you have chronic kidney disease, are on dialysis, or a low-protein diet. Take blood-thinning medications, as some seafoods contain vitamin K or omega-3s that affect clotting. Next, be mindful of how seafood is cooked. Deep frying or adding heavy sauces can cancel out many of the health benefits. Instead, use gentle methods, steaming, pan-searing, simmering in broth. These preserve the protein and nutrients without overloading your system. One last thing to remember: seafood is best enjoyed fresh or properly frozen. If it smells too strong, has a slimy texture, or looks discolored, don't take the risk. Trust your senses, they're wiser than you think. And finally, don't rush. Adding seafood to your diet isn't a race. Start with 1 meal a week, then 2, then 3. See how your body feels. Notice how your muscles respond. Let the results speak for themselves. Because the goal isn't just to eat like the Japanese, it's to live well, move freely, and age with grace. And that comes from knowing not only what to eat, but also how to eat it wisely. You don't need to live in Japan to eat like the Japanese. You don't need a perfect kitchen, fancy tools, or exotic ingredients. Sometimes all it takes is a few small fish cooked with care and eaten with intention. Shirasu, hotate, sakura ebi. They may be tiny, but they hold quiet strength, the kind that keeps you standing tall when others begin to stoop, the kind that brings balance back to your steps and warmth back to your bones. As someone in his 80s, I've learned that health is not built by big changes, but by small, consistent choices. A spoonful of fish in the morning, a mindful breath before a meal, a short walk after lunch. These things matter more than you think. So if you've been feeling weaker lately, if stairs seem higher than they used to, if your legs tire faster than before, please don't give up. You are not broken. You are rebuilding, one small bite at a time. If this video gave you something to think about, please share it with someone who might need it. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next story from my Japanese kitchen to your home. Until then, stay steady, stay curious, and stay kind to your body.